Okay, another important subject. This one is a little bit tough for people to wrap their heads around, but we're going to try and do it anyway. And that subject is reincarnation. Now, you heard me say earlier, mention what I call universal law of correspondence, that because everything is continuous from one source, if it manifests in one way on one level, it manifests the same way on all levels. We pretty much know that evolution is a real thing. Now, the creationists would have something to say about that, but I don't think one excludes the other. So we're going to deal with this, and we're going to intermingle this with another universal law, which is cause and effect, which simply states if you have an effect, there has to have been a cause for it. And it is as good a time as any to bring up this little book where all these little ideas, big ideas come from. And that is this. This is the book that set me on the path more than anything. It is called the Kybalion. It is Hermetic philosophy. The Kybalion is spelled K-Y-B-A-L-I-O-N. And it deals with these universal laws. If I could ever recommend a book to somebody, this is it. Now, cause and effect. The situations that always struck me was the situations in Africa where you find children and adults starving to death by the thousands, and actually the tens of thousands. If people just simply ended up being there, in other words, some way God took them and said, well, we're going to throw you over here into this situation. By the way, you're only going to live till about maybe 6 months old or a year and a half. And you're going to go through a horrific experience by doing that. There had to be a reason for it. There had to be a cause. Now, one of the wonderful things that I have been told by the guides, and when we say that the guides feel for us and they support us and they want to be of service, and this is not true in all the cases that have to do with the situation, but I was told that this does take place in this one situation, that people who did not have to reincarnate decided to do so anyway, because when we became aware of all these people dying, we helped in some way, shape, or form, whether it was donations or we sent food or whatever it would be. And they knew that this, by doing this, that they would help raise the sensitivity and the compassion of the planet. So they willingly went through this suffering in order to help us become more compassionate, become more loving, and become more responsible. That's an incredible thought, that somebody would do that type of thing. But now let's take a reincarnation that we may go through on a day-to-day basis, you or I. We have certain likes, dislikes, things that we are afraid of, things that we react in a certain way each time when we experience them. And we look at these, and again, thoughts are things. There's an effect because of that, okay? There's an effect which has to have a cause. And if you can go back during the course of your life and say, well, I feel this way about a certain thing, and I go back, but I don't understand why I feel this way. Maybe it's something from a past life. Now, at one particular point in time, I was a hypnotherapist, and I was involved for a short period of time. But there's a tremendous amount of hypnotherapists around who get involved with hypnotic regression. If you just go into YouTube, what you're looking at, and type in reincarnation, boy, you'd be amazed at the type of things that you're going to find. Google it and do the same thing. People go back and they find themselves talking about things that they would have no way of knowing consciously. they find things that may have affected them in their lives to make them feel a certain way. But there are countless instances where people have found things that cause negative things in their lives, and when they find them, they go away because they understand them on a conscious level and they can deal with them. This is the way hypnotic regression works. I can remember my wife, hi Jude, her name is Judy, who was involved with this, and she found some people who had extremely negative situations, and when they went back into hypnotic regression, found out that they had been abused sexually, and that they had buried it, but it had caused an effect. And once they realized what it was and they were able to deal with it on a conscious level, it went away. Now, this type of mechanism that triggers a change in the present does not work if what's seen in hypnosis is not valid. In other words, that triggering mechanism is something that says, yes, this is what happened. This is something I am now dealing with. Now I'm all right. Reincarnation is evolution. We have choices that we make in our lives. Some of the choices are good, some of them aren't. They're negative. And we're going to grow and grow and grow and go on to the next life. And we may have had hundreds or even thousands of lives that have come previously. But it's consistent. Again, it's that everything is continuous from one source. If it manifests the one way on one level, it manifests the same way on all levels. So we're growing. We're going to grow to the point where we have no need to come back into this physical life. But we will keep on evolving. One level to the next level to the next level. And we'll continue to grow, and we will grow into beings that we really have no comprehension of understanding right now. We would be incredible beings with incredible abilities, but at the same time we will have grown in such a way where we will be able to handle these abilities. The reason that we don't have them now is because we can't handle them. We are told that at this level, we do things and they have a result in physical reality. But on other levels, the levels are far more mental in their makeup. So if you had negative thoughts towards somebody and you wanted to hurt them, it would happen like that. So you have to shed these negative things that are about us and get rid of them so you can move on to the next levels. But it also talks about us becoming beings that are just incredible. This all makes sense to me. As a matter of fact, it's the only thing that makes sense to me, because it essentially says, again, that we create our own lives, and that this is a wonderful system that has been set up by the infinite being to help us become the best that we can be, and to grow and to understand and to become co-creators. A very important subject. I hope it has some meaning for you.